Congratulations on your first win here at Bobcat Stadium, and what an atmosphere with the Gold Rush here. Congratulations. Your thoughts on that victory?
Well, what a weekend! We get a chance to move in here, this fine facility. I know we're partially in, but it certainly feels like home. And obviously heard a lot about the atmosphere, but to live it, to breathe it, to be within it, it was awesome. And I hope that's just the beginning of it for us this year. I hope we can pack this stadium every time out. And a lot of credit to Drake. They made it hard for us, and scored that touchdown before half. And I think we felt like the first half was a little uneven and really challenged the guys at halftime, both offensively and defensively. And I think they responded in the second half. And happy to get a win and kind of where are we at now? We took a step forward, and we need to keep doing that, keep getting better week to week.
Matt, obviously a really good performance from him, both on the ground and through the air. Just what do you think he was able to do and take advantage of?
Well, the way they played us, a lot of man coverage, a lot of pressure. They forced us into a little bit more of a throw game, and from a read perspective, they forced the ball to stay in his hands, and I thought he responded well. Probably wasn't perfect, and a little bit of the misses early. We're trying to feel out what they were going to do. They played us probably more aggressively than they played their first game, and it took for Matt to make some plays. And our guys are figuring that out. We're a team. Anything that calls attention to one person is not what we're about. And you make a great play, just go celebrate with your teammates. And I think that came up a couple times in the first half, and we addressed it. And I thought we played really good team ball in the second half.
Brent, to circle back to Willie, you obviously haven't had him for too terribly long, but I'm sure you're familiar with his injury struggles in his first couple of years here. How nice was it to see him break out with this kind of a performance? I believe it's first 2 touchdowns of his career. And how do you kind of go about making sure that he has that kind of an impact in your passing game going forward?
Yeah, he is a big part of our passing game, and I know he made a couple real good plays last week. He had the one fumble, he had the punt return that got called back, so he certainly made some plays last week too. But to get him in the end zone this week and do it in a couple different ways, he's going to be a guy that I think people are going to have to pay attention to. Him coupled with Lance, it was good to see Jaden Coy. We had a whole host of guys, Cam Gardner. We have that many guys making plays, and you're not leaning on just one guy. You got a chance to be just that much harder to defend, pretty dynamic in the passing game.
And what did you have to be mindful of with their opposing quarterback, and what did you hope that your defensive line would be able to accomplish? Because it seemed like Daniel Hardy, maybe especially, was in the backfield a lot.
Well, credit to him. He made some plays, and I think we knew that was part of his game, to be able to extend plays, and in particular that drive before the half. That was credit to him, and at the same time, I think we got a lot of pressure on him, and he was a guy that I think was priority one as far as our defensive plan. And outside of that drive, I think at the end of the half, I thought we did a pretty good job.
Did you see that progress as maybe a continuation of what you established last week against Wyoming?
Yeah, I think we got a chance to have a really good front, and Daniel's certainly one of those guys. I think Amandre flashed at times tonight. Chase is, he's a force to be reckoned with in there. We're down Kyle Rigg right now, and I'm certain that Blake Hill, Byron Rollins, Sebastian Valdez, we're playing, the whole host of guys. I think we probably got 10, 11 D linemen in there, and that's it's going to take a deep group to do what we want to do this year.
On third downs, you guys have put Brody Greavy on the end a lot, and then moved Amandre, and I guess can you speak to what you like there and what kind of the reasoning is there?
Well, it's to get speed on the field. When we're in obvious passing situations, to get Amandre in particular in that inside matchup against a guard who's not used to maybe that quickness. It's been a good package for us so far these first couple games, and I expect to see it quite often. We'd love to get those teams in third and long for sure.
How would you describe the energy of the day, and also, just during the game, obviously fans were so excited to have football back here?
Yeah, it's something. Again, I heard a lot about it, going back to February, and it lived up to expectations. The buzz in the stadium, the pregame, the prowl, on top of us, getting in this building yesterday for the first time and just the enjoyment I think that brought to our guys. So, it was awesome. And I hope that we can match the electricity that was in this stadium in the weeks to come. We just don't have to put the gold jerseys on. We can have this kind of a crowd no matter what, can't we?
How kind of glad or relieved are you guys to kind of get some of these droughts out of the way, the first game, the BAC out of the way, and kind of now focus a little bit more just on the next game and things like that?
Yeah, we talked about that. So much going on, but it was about the game. This weekend's about the game. None of the outside stuff feels quite as good if you don't come out and perform. So I think our guys did a good job of channeling that. And there's still going to be newness through the next several weeks with this building. I'm certain of that. And just how we operate on a day-to-day basis, being over here will change, but it's still about our preparation and putting ourselves in the best position possible to win every given Saturday.
Isaiah got off. I apologize if I'm making you repeat yourself. I got in here late, but Isaiah and the run game was a little sluggish, maybe you could say, in the first half. Can you attribute that to anything?
Well, they were very aggressive. I'm certain we'll go look at the tape, and we had one game on them, certainly a sampling from the spring. I think they definitely played us much more aggressive, and I think they've probably felt like they had to. I think they pride themselves in defense, and if you do that, you want to stop the run first. And they were very disruptive with their pressure, and I felt like we needed to throw the ball to soften them up. And I think that's kind of what happened. We were pretty efficient in the pass game, hit some big plays, and ultimately the second half softened them up enough so we could run the ball a little bit more effectively.
Simeon got in quite a bit, especially early in the second half. How much of that was just kind of his performance or other things involved there?
No, pleased with his progress through fall camp. He had a camp that put him in position where we wanted to play him. And Tyrell's been out, so he climbed the depth chart. Simeon did. And getting him into the rotation. One thing I talked to the coaches about last week is we got to get more guys on the field. We went with, probably outside the D line, we went with the same guys over and over and over again, and that's not sustainable, so we got to get more guys experience so to build our depth, and Simeon was one of those guys.
And obviously that's kind of been cut into with some of the injuries. And is there anything you could say, I guess, first on RJ and any update you can provide on him?
Yeah, I didn't get a complete report relative to the length of time, I guess. It was an upper body injury. I didn't get too many details on, what the severity is, I guess.
Yeah. Such a positive day otherwise, but with Kyle and Tyrell and now this, I mean, how much is that in kind of your mind, and how much you think about just the negative of that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, injuries are just part of it, I guess. Next man up is part of it, and as we build our depth, that's got to be the way we think. Tyrell will be back, whether that's next week or the following. And in the meantime, we're getting some guys some reps and getting them better. We'll see what the length of time with RJ is, and it was good. Jahari Martin, who's a tailback, played some fullback today, and he's got a chance there, and he's gonna have to step up. We got to assess that to understand that we're gonna be down some guys here and there, and we just got to forge ahead.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
First, Daniel, can you just kind of describe the energy, the excitement of the day and the game? How good did that feel to get out there in front of your fans?
Amazing. I've talked to you guys a few times, and all you guys know how much I love this game. This Gold Rush game, that first home game, and especially this year, we've all talked about it, but I just don't think we could stress it enough just how much anticipation was around this game. It's been a long time since we played in front of our fans, and it was great to be able to go out and win the way we did in front of our fans. Kind of gave them a little reward for, still having faith in us and still showing up for the Bobcats. So love them. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys out here in 2 weeks. Or actually, no, next week. Yeah.
Did that energy feed into your performance, especially early on? It seemed like you were in the backfield every other play.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially, I'd say it was more on kickoff. Because just running, everybody's screaming right before we kick the ball, and you're just thinking, I'm going down there to wreck something. I'm running through a brick wall. So love them. They do an amazing job feeding us with energy. Couldn't ask for a better home crowd.
Coach,
You specifically pointed out when we talked during media day, you said there's nothing like running out of the tunnel on a Gold Rush game. What were you feeling in that specific moment?
It was a little different because we got to actually sit there for a second and take it in, and honestly, I really appreciate that, especially this being probably my last Gold Rush game. So, just being able to sit there and take it in and really appreciate the moment, and then get to run out and let all that energy and everything. It was amazing. I loved every second of it. Again, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. So.
How did this compare to last week?
I mean, we came out with the same mentality. I mean, it doesn't matter who we play. We could be playing Alabama or we could be playing, whoever it is, but we're going to come out with the same mentality. We want to win. We want to punch them in the mouth early and, see if they can get into a fist fight.
Was it similar energy just from both weeks kind of ending a drought to a long drought?
I mean, short-term memory, man. We weren't really thinking about that. We were on to the next game, and that was this team. And I felt like we came out and we handled business and did what we needed to do.
How tough was it? Coach talked about trying to focus on the game and not let all these outside things affect. I mean, how tough was that to kind of just zero in on Drake specifically?
I mean, this is my fourth year here, so kind of being in a groove and having a routine helps with that, especially because, you just get in your zone and do the things that you've always done on game day. And then, that way it just kind of, it's that muscle memory. You get locked in and, all that kind of, that outside stuff kind of fades away.
A lot of tape on this particular team from this season, maybe some from the spring. But what did you have to be mindful of with this offense, and maybe where did you and your defensive linemen really find some of those areas to kind of disrupt what they were trying to do?
Well, for starters, they have a lot of, I call it trickeration, a lot of eye candy, motions, things like that. So our biggest thing that we focused on this week was just discipline and reading our keys and doing exactly, if the guy in front of you tells you to do something, that's what you got to do, and not get caught up in all that fancy stuff. So I think we did a good job. We could have been better in the first half, but I think we came out and got it corrected in the second.
You've spoken a lot about the way in which you've won. Obviously, the offense did their part also, but on defense, is there a sense of pride of not leaving any doubt in this kind of a game?
Yes, absolutely. And, that's always the thing on defense. Like, our job, our whole mentality is that our offense could go kick a field goal and we'll win the game. And that's how we want to handle our business, and that's how we want to attack teams.
Anything else? Thanks, Daniel.
Just the feeling of finally playing a home game after all this time.
Gold Rush was insane. We were anticipating this, but going out there and seeing the fans and the gold and just the environment, it was insane. And I think it was a great Gold Rush for not playing, in 2 years.
You shared a big day receiving with Willie Patterson. Obviously, you've been his teammate for a little while, so you know a little bit about his injury history. How nice was it to see him have this kind of an impact on a game?
Sorry, what was that? I can't hear you.
How nice was it to see Willie Patterson have the kind of impact that he did on the game?
Oh, it was awesome. Willie, he's battled 2 collarbone injuries, and to see him go out here and, our first home game, Gold Rush, and to see him go out there and get 2 of them was awesome.
I suppose how special or dangerous does the passing attack feel 2 weeks in, given all of your success?
I would say right now, we're getting close to dangerous. I wouldn't say we're there yet, but we got a lot of potential in the receiver room.
What do you think of Matt's performance, especially through the air, but also on the ground? Dual threat guy.
Matt coming off a tough loss, last week, and coming out here, his first Gold Rush, and just being able to see him, do what he does. He's a threat with his arm and a threat with his feet, so it was cool to see both of that today.
We talked so much about the anticipation for last week's game, for this week's game. Now that they're over, how would you kind of describe how you're feeling now?
Anytime you win, it's a great feeling. And coming off a tough loss last week and being able to, turn things around and come out in front of our, home fans for Gold Rush was, anytime you win is a great feeling.
Are you guys worried at all about almost an emotional come down from all of this kind of craziness, or do you think it's going to kind of just keep rolling like it has?
Hopefully, we just keep it rolling and carry this momentum into next week.
Daniel Hardy was just in here, and he spoke a lot about the pride of the defense in winning a game in this fashion, kind of leaving no doubt. Does the offense have that same kind of mentality?
I mean, our mentality offensive-wise is just go out there and try to put points on the board every possession, every drive we have. Just go out there and do our best and try to put points on the board.
Anything else for Lance? All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, how would you sum up the whole day, the whole week?
I liked our approach as a team this week. We knew that if we came out and we did our job, we played fast and physical, we'd come out with a victory. That's exactly what we did. Still a lot to learn from, but I'm really happy with the way we came out this week first and for preparation, and then just executing in the game.
What about from an emotional standpoint, or from all the other, just the gold rush and the anticipation and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the energy's always there from our fans. Gold rush, even heightens that, and just to see that support, it's it fuels us for sure, especially as a defense when you hear the noise, you can see the offense panicking a little bit, not able to communicate as well. Just love it.
Is there a moment from today that'll stand out specifically for you?
Just getting this victory, yeah, that's the favorite part about it all.
Are you guys kind of ready to move on to more just straight football, kind of talking about that stuff, or are you going to miss some of this kind of lead up and build up to these games? Yeah,
sometimes the hoopla can get a little bit distracting, but as long as we stay focused and do our thing, to answer your question, I'm excited to just focus on football and not any of the extra stuff for sure.
And you're filling in for a guy Tyrell who's obviously supposed to come in and play a key role. How would you say you felt like specifically or individually you've done so far in filling his role?
Yeah, I mean the transition to nickel. Tyrell's a phenomenal player, and he'll be back, and we're really excited to have him back. I think in terms of filling the role and moving to nickel, yeah, I mean it's a position that I've played before, and yeah, it's felt good so far.
You held them to 2.2 yards per carry today running the football. What did you like about your run defense specifically?
I mean, the guys up front dominated. Our linebackers are fast as heck. Troy and Cal running to the ball. It's at this point it's the expectation, and we took care of business. Love to see that out of our guys executing up front, and even when things do break, we've got guys like Jeff, Trey, or James on the outside, Easy on the outside, that can bring it down and live to fight another down. So, I just love what we're doing as a defense, running to the ball, playing fast, playing physical. So, absolutely.
You were in the backfield a couple different times in running plays with tackles for loss. What do you like about playing that nickel spot, getting close to the box? Do you feel like that has played an advantage to your skill set?
Yeah, I definitely like that part of it, getting reads, and being able to shoot open gaps. It's a lot of fun. It allows for, a good amount of freedom as well. As long as I'm reading my key and doing my job, yeah, I like playing in that spot for sure.
After such a long layoff, you almost beat an FBS team, and you obviously come out and have a dominant win today. Are you guys feeling pretty confident just in how you can play the rest of the season, or are you focused more on kind of the things you need to work on?
Absolutely. We just want to take it week by week. There's a lot we're still going to learn from this game. A lot of mistakes we made, things that we can correct. And next week is going to, our plan is to prepare and be the best team next Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Ty.